and wins the race today, he becomes the overall drivers' champion. And the first thing he said to me yesterday when I went and spoke to him is, we get the job done tomorrow. So his task today, or his mindset is to get this wrapped up before we go into the season finale at Hockenheim next week. Well, the task will then be for the Prema Racing team to try and wrap up the overall team's title. Enough championship talk. Let's talk about what happened yesterday. Oh no, Nils Colon is facing the wrong way down at turn 3. That gives you an idea of how tricky the conditions are and how steep that banking is down at turn 3. But Nils Colon, on his home race, manages to spin the car back round and get going again. A great day yesterday for the home fans here at Zandvoort. They had an all-Dutch front row. Martinius Stenchorn was the driver who would take pole position. However, a 4-place grid penalty that had been rolled on over from Monza meant pole position was inherited by Kaz Havercourt from Van Amersfoort Racing, a Dutch driver with a Dutch team. He would have alongside him his countryman Laurens van Hopen, and Kaz Havercourt would follow the same routine we've had so far here at Zandvoort in the 4 races that we've had here. We've had 4 drivers go and take lights to flag victories. That became 5 races yesterday as Kaz Havercourt took a lights to flag win and took his 2nd win of the season and became the first Dutch driver in history to win around this circuit at this level. He was joined on the podium by Laurens van Hopen, a great performance by the young Dutchman to get himself onto the podium. They were split by Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who felt he didn't quite have the pace in qualifying. There is an empty car of Andrea Kimi Antonelli which will be filled, and there is a choice being made currently by the team whether to go on wet tyres or slick tyres. That gives you an idea of the conditions they have out there. They tend to put those wet tyres on to just roll round to the grid, and then they'll swap them round. Andrea Kimi Antonelli currently out there, currently finished in 2nd place yesterday, split the 2 Dutch drivers, and that helped him get a big step closer to wrapping up that overall drivers' championship title. But things can change very, very quickly in this championship. Martinius Stenchorn was our rookie winner in P4. Then we had Roman Belinsky with a fantastic drive in 5th place. In the end, putting a lot of pressure on Martinius Stenchorn. They had a great battle right at the end of the race. Tim Traunitz finished in P6, felt he didn't quite have the pace in Sector 2. Oh, as that's one of the ARTs getting it all wrong through turn 3. Rafa Kamara finished in P7, Lorenzo Flusha 8th. Nikita Bedrin got a top 10 as it's raining around the back part of the circuit. Got monolight in the top 10 for the first time this season. Didn't score any points so as a guest, and it was Matteo Capietto and Alessandro Giusti. Right, it is raining out there on the circuit. You may see to the top left, we have our Group B drivers out on the circuit. So the drivers are split into 2 groups. That's done by championship position. Drivers 1st, 3rd, 5th in the championship, so on going to Group A. The remainder going to Group B, and they have 15 minutes on track each. The quickest group forms the inside row of the grid. Enough of that though, we can see the rain has just started to fall down. Drivers, this may be times that go down as their quickest of the sessions, the one that they come across the line with. Marcus Armand, quickest across the line with a 1:43.2. Rafa Kamara has done a 1:43.5. No, Laurens van Hopen, sorry, has just done a 1:43.5. That could be crucial for him. Rafa Kamara 3rd, she is 4th. Stenchorn down in 5th place. That's not good for him at all. Maya Berg is in 6th place. Evan Gilter 7th. Chauvet 8th. Lebon 9th, Chianti 10th, Belinsky 11th, then Sagrera, Megatunif, Bora and Colon. They're going to have to come into the pits and put the wets on. And now they would have been bringing the cars up to speed in those laps. We were down towards the 130s yesterday, so you can tell just how far off the pace we were with those warm-up laps, and now the teams are going to be really up against it. This has gone right in the favour of the Group A drivers in a way, because they have much more time to bolt those wet tyres on now and get those cars ready to go for their session. For the drivers in Group B, the clock was really against them here. Marcus Armand is the quickest. He'll be hoping that the conditions only worsen that, and he's left at the front of the field. Lawrence Van Hoopen wouldn't mind being left on the second row of the grid, but Martini Stenchon, championship-wise, would not want to be left down on row 5. Roman Belinsky would certainly not want to be on row 11. Megatuniv wouldn't want to be down on row 13 either. As you can see, they're all coming in, and now this is going to be a huge rush for the drivers. I think there may have been some, where you can see Megatuniv, I think maybe changing a crash helmet or his visor there, just so he can see a little bit better, because when the rain starts coming down, you need a clear visor on just so you can see where you're going. Tinted visors do not go down well in this weather. I can tell you from experience, when I left the hotel this morning to walk into the circuit, and it only is a short walk in, it was impossible to do so. It was, in fact, a little bit dangerous. That gives you an idea of just how, oh, my watch is talking to me. That gives you just an idea of what the fans are dealing with around the circuit. If you're walking anywhere near the seafront, and we're not far from it here, it's very, very difficult to walk in a straight line. Let me tell you that. You are being assisted as you are walking. So the drivers are dealing with incredibly difficult conditions out there. Now that's the RSGP team who have got to work very quickly and bolted the wet tyres on Martini Stenchon. The clock is still ticking down, don't forget. As I said, this has gone in the favour of the Group A drivers massively. They were the first out on track yesterday. That means they're second out on track today. That's the format we always roll. Look at the cars sideways coming out of the pit lane. Marcus Armand, that's the number 23, apologies. That's one of the KIC cars who has yet to do anything in terms of change his tyres, which is Ivan Klemenko, who's out in the next session. This is the car, I think, of Roman Belinsky now we're looking at, who would have changed tyres. Yes, it is the number 4. The Polish-British driver now makes his way out of pit lane, but a really busy pit lane. This has got to be, I'd say, the most difficult conditions we've dealt with all season, not just because of the rain and how aggressive it is, but because of how aggressive the wind is as well. Even in the dry conditions, one lap you're going into turn 3, everything feels okay. The next lap you find yourself off into the barriers, and that might have been how we found Giovanni Maschio, for example, off into the barriers yesterday. Incredibly difficult to deal with on a circuit which is so high speed as well. And look at that, you can see just how difficult it is out there for the drivers. I'm interested to see how these times compare to the warm-up laps we did on the slick tyres now, because now they're going to be pushing for it. They're not going to be weaving the cars at all. They're going to be going flat out. On the slick tyres they were weaving and weren't really going full pelt, so they were about 13 seconds off the pace. So I'm interested to see exactly what these times are as they come across the line. Megatuniv is going to give us a bit of a reference here as he starts his first real flying lap. Oh, Martini Stenchon has spun coming out of turn 12, going up to the final 2 corners, and that gives you a reference of exactly how difficult it is. Our rookie champion facing the opposite way, coming down towards the final 2 corners. There is the number 26 of Victor Bernier, just trying to keep some shelter and keep himself dry, keep the cockpit dry. Absolutely horrendous the conditions out there for the driver. It is chaos down in the pit lane. We've not seen anything like this, I don't think, in this championship before in terms of conditions. Roman Belinsky is on his outlap. I'm just trying to get a reference as to who is on outlaps currently. We did see Sami Megatuniv. He is 2 seconds quicker than Javier Sagrera through the first sector, and he's 0.6 of a second quicker than Rafa Kamara through the first sector. So the man to watch is actually Nikhil Bora. Nikhil Bora has just done a 39.5, and that is the quickest first sector we've seen since we've got going again. Roman Belinsky going back to his karting days there in his Ginetta Junior days, absolutely walloping the curb through turn 11. Great stuff from Roman Belinsky, but Nikhil Bora is half a second quicker than anyone through the first sector alone. Absolutely flying. Here we see Javier Sagrera. Have to say, very impressed with him yesterday. We've got a yellow down at turn 10, which is the left-hand sweeping hairpin before we come downhill as Sagrera makes his way out the final 2 corners. Interested to see what Nikhil Bora does, but he's 2 seconds slower than Sami Megatunev through the next sector. Sami Megatunev across the line does a 1:51, way off the pace to what we saw on those slick tyres. Oh no, that's Niels Colon is off into the gravel as we see cars coming across the line. What kind of times are we going to see on the board? Sami Megatunev has done a 1:51 and we've got a red flag. The clock is going to be stopped at 4 minutes. We've got a red flag out and the rain will keep falling, and that is to retrieve the car of Niels Colon, which I believe is stranded down at turn 10. In fact, I think that might be turn 7 because we had a yellow at turn 10, but that looks like he may have gone off downhill at turn 7 and found himself off on the banked gravel. But all will be revealed shortly, I guess. That looks like where that might be to me. It's a very quick entry into that corner. Now that's work being done on the cockpit. Well, they're belting it. In fact, they're just getting the seatbelt done of Matteo Capietto, having to just cover the drivers as much as they can here. Matteo Capietto is going to be out in the next group, Group A. But you take that umbrella off the drivers for, I tell you what, and I can tell you this from leaving the hotel earlier, 10 seconds, and it will feel like they've been in the shower. It is absolutely horrendous, the rain out there. I was told by the guys in the hotel as well, oh, autumn has started. I wonder, I mean, winter must be even worse. But we can see just how difficult the conditions are. Really, really tough for the drivers out there as they make their way back round. But this is what the former regional European Championship by Alpine is all about. We test the drivers in all conditions, I guess, as we see Giusti now make his way back in. He's had a superb run at almost bringing back the chance to fight for the rookie title, but Stenchon with a rookie, with a record 11 rookie wins now, is too far ahead to catch now and secured himself the championship. Engine cover is off for Lorenzo Flusha. One thing I would say that these guys do have a chance is to change those visors. Not all the guys before that had, but clearly some more work needed to be done on his car. As we can see, that is down at turn 7. So that's where Niels Colon is, and the Marshall team is getting to work. This one thing this does do is give the gives the rain a chance to settle down a little bit because it's so aggressive. The wind's so aggressive, but 1 minute it can be coming down very, very hard, and then 60 seconds later it can be completely stopped, and then it's only the wind you're dealing with. Here comes Nikhil Bora. As announced, he's going to be racing in the Indian Racing League. Was one of many drivers out in the Formula 3 test. Was actually out doing that earlier this week with Rodin Carlin. We saw many of our drivers out there. Lawrence van Hoopen finished 8th at Barcelona overall earlier this week. We also saw Sami Megatunev out there as well. Martinius Stenchorn was there with High Tech. Santiago Ramos, sadly not here this weekend. He was there with Trident. Tim Tramnitz was there with MP Motorsport as well. Former driver Josh Dufek was there with PHM Racing. Mateus Zagazeta also there with Genza as well. Many other drivers. Emo Fittipaldi Jr. also there with MP. Nikhil Bora there with Rodin Carlin. Filled with former Frecker drivers. I'd say 2/3 of the grid, if not more, at least former drivers. Whilst we are waiting for this red flag to go. I think we can take this chance. As you can see, the pictures almost speak for themselves as to what's going on down in the pit lane. But I'd like to take this chance to congratulate our new Italian F4 champion, Kasper Stuka, who crowned himself the official Italian F4 champion yesterday in race 2, taking eight race wins on the bounce. He was over 100 points behind championship leader Arvid Lindblad. I remember going to commentate on that series back at Monza. Would have never even considered the thought of Kasper Stuka winning that championship, being around 115 points behind, I think it was. But 8 race wins in a row, and Kasper Stuka, with a race to spare, has crowned himself the Italian F4 champion. I think I said it online yesterday, it will go down as one of the best comebacks in junior single-seater series history. So congratulations to Kasper and to the US racing team and to everyone down at the Italian F4 Championship, and I hope they have a great season finale over at Vallelunga today. Make sure you go and check that one out. I can promise you it will be in much better conditions to what you are seeing right now. Okay, we are just waiting for Niels Colon to be retrieved, the Van Amersfoort driver. He's going to be going off the back row of the grid. Unfortunately, hasn't been able to get a time on the board. Nikhil Bora needs to get a time on the board as well. He's been unable to do that so far. The order as it stands is to the left. Marcus Armand leads, and he'll be happy for the rain to just keep coming down harder and harder. That means his time will not only be beaten in this group, but neither in the next group as well, and he'll be on pole position for the first time. So he will take that. Definitely Marcus Armand. He had a great qualifying from memory, Marcus Armand, back at the last round as well. Got a front row start in race 1 at Monza, which was his best qualifying of the season, and actually the first time he'd qualified in the top 10 all season as well. So this young Sauber Academy driver, it would not be a fluke, I'll tell you that. Front row start at Monza, and he's looking to now take back-to-back front row starts, albeit this time on the inside. It looks like the rain has settled down, looking out the window just a little bit. As for the wind, I don't think that will settle down all day, to be honest. Lawrence Van Hoopen is second, Rafa Kamara is third, Giusti fourth. They're split by 1 second. Then we have Martinius Stenshorn. Maya Verg is in P6. The red backgrounds to the names mean they are rookie drivers. So we have 4 in this session overall. We have the blue background, sorry, to the numbers mean they're rookies. So we have 6 in this session overall. We have Armand, Giusti, Stenshorn, Verg, Gilles Terre, and Tom Leben. Those are our rookies. So currently we have a rookie leading the way. Giusti in 4th, Stenshorn 5th, Maya Verg is 6th, another one of our rookies. Evan Gilles Terre, guest driver, a French F4 champion. P7, Chauvet, a returning driver, in 8th place. Tom Leben next in P9, another one of the rookies. Chianti 10th, Belinsky 9th, Megatuniv 12th, Sagrera next, and then we have Nikhil Bora and Colon. A lot of these static cars are going to be in the next group, so we're seeing a lot of the guys getting ready to go in Group A. I wonder what's going through their minds currently. That's Pierre-Alexandre Provost. He'll be out in Group A, which gets going in about 3 to 4 minutes' time. Here are the Group B drivers making their way out on circuit. You can see the rain seems to have stopped now, but I'm not sure they're going to have time to beat that time set by Marcus Armand. They're only going to have, let's see, 2 goes at it, 2 flying laps, starting with this one that they're about to start. So this is going to be very difficult. It's swinging hugely in the favour of another front row start for Marcus Armand. Here they come up to the line now, and we see heading across the line is going to be Stenshorn. It looks like that leads, and a red flag again. So someone else has spun, clearly. We've got another. Oh no, it's Maya Verg. Maya Verg has spun. I think that will be the end of the session, to be honest. That's down at turn 2. So that's an unusual place to go. That's cold tyres and knowing that you need to get a move on that from Maya Verg. And she's found herself facing the wrong way and stuck in the gravel. I'm not sure we're going to see much more of this session, to be honest. They're not really going to have time. They'll have time for one flying lap. That's it. I'm not sure that would be enough, to be honest. Some the guys might not even bother going out if the session is done. You can see Megatunif is already taking off the steering wheel, taking off his gloves. Yeah, and there's confirmation. The session will not restart, and that's a very frustrated Sami Megatunif, I can tell you that. I wouldn't speak to him for a couple of minutes because he is incredibly frustrated with what has just happened there. So that means Marcus Armand, for the second consecutive round, goes fastest in his group. Marcus Armand will start on the front row, back-to-back rounds. Laurens van Hoopen will be on the second row once again. He's having a dream a dream home race. He did it yesterday, but due to a penalty, he was promoted to the front row. Laurens van Hoopen once again qualifies P2 in his group. What a fantastic performance. Rafa Kamara, much better for him today. P3, Giusti in fourth, Stenshorn fifth, which opens up the opportunity for Antonelli to go and put this title fight to bed today. Gilter 6th, Chauvet 7th, Leben 8th, Chianti 9th, and then we have those who never really got a time on the board, really. Belinsky, Megatunif, Sagrera, those guys way off the pace in terms of never really getting a time going, and then the guys who didn't even set a lap time in Nickel Bora, Maya Verg, Niels Colon. Maya Verg's time, due to the red flag, seems to have been taken away, so that will be that. She's going to be put to the back of the grid, it seems. So Nikhil Bora will go off row 13, Maya Verg off row 14, Niels Colon off row 50. That will move Gilter up to the 6th row, and Chauvet up to the 7th row. But Marcus Armand, well, as I said before, it's certainly no fluke. He did it at Monza in dry conditions. He's done it here in wet conditions. He adjusted the fastest. He got that first flying lap in the quickest, and that he will be rewarded for. Marcus Armand, an ART Grand Prix, clearly knowing there were tough conditions on the way. They got a move on at the start of the session, and they have been rewarded for that. A tough season is starting to come good for them now. 1-2 for the ART team. They will fill the front 2 rows. Which side of it, we'll find out very shortly. Most likely leaning towards the inside if the conditions do not improve. Rafa Kamara, row 3 for him. It will be row 4 for Giusti. Stenshorn on row 5. Gilter, a very impressive row 6 on his Freca debut. Chauvet on his return will be on row 7. Levin will be row 8. Chianti will be row 9. Belinsky row 10. Megatunif row 11. Sagrera row 12. And then the drivers who don't even have a time on the board. Nikhil Bora, Maya Verg, who was due to be P6 before that red flag, which ended the session, and then Niels Colon. Okay, we're still not done. We're only halfway through this qualifying session, I'll tell you that, because we now get going with the Group A session, and in this one we are going to have our possible champion to be Andrea Kimi Antonelli out there in the 12, and this man here, newly named Red Bull Junior this week, Tim Tramnitz in the number 77. His father saying to me yesterday, just struggling in the second sector, couldn't quite get his head around it. Let's see if they figured those problems out. I had a chat with the guys down at Monolith this morning. They were incredibly happy with what this man has brought to the team for them this weekend. Nikita Bedring getting them inside the top 10, and the data that's been bringing them will be hugely, hugely helpful. There's a very frustrated Martinius Stenshorn, I think. I have to say he's always a very relaxed character, whether it's going good or bad for him, so I'm sure he'll bounce back from that one very, very quickly. Martinius, when he found out he was rookie champion, really for him, his eyes only ever were on the overall title, but I'm sure he'll be an exciting one to watch later. Kaz Havikort, can he keep the tradition going? We've only ever had double winners at this circuit. Gregoire Saucy did it in 2021. Paul Aron did it in 2022. Can Kaz Havikort do it next? Mateusz Zagazzetta is teammate to Tim Tramnitz. He's going to be out there in the 88. Felt he could have got a top 5 finish in qualifying yesterday. We'll also have Lorenzo Flusha in the 7, who had the engine cover off earlier. Capietto will be out there in the 85. Bernier in the 26. Owen Tangavelu in the 43. Joshua Dirksen in the number 10. We mentioned Zagazzetta. Emo Fittipaldi Jr. will be in the 73. Pierre-Alexandre Provost in the 28. Giovanni Maschio, who did not finish yesterday, will be in the 99. Ivan Klemenko, who you saw, the Ukrainian, will be in the 23. Then Nikita Bedrin in the 21. Ivan Dominguez, the Portuguese driver, in the 13. And Francisco Soldevini, the Argentinian, will be in the number 30. There he is, takes the place of Michael Belov. Well, let's hope we get a clean run this time. It was a clean run yesterday in qualifying. No red flags, no stoppages. That's not been the case so far, but you can see at the top of the screen how much they're struggling to get out of the pit lane in a straight line. And I think the message to the drivers will be keep it on the road for the first couple of minutes, and then let's get some times on the board. But much easier to say that from my position. Imagine being in their position on a cold track, a wet track, a windy track as well. They are dealing with some of the most difficult conditions out there that they have experienced all season, and I do sympathise with them in that one as to how tricky it must be. But that's what this championship's all about, testing them to the highest level. We're producing the next FIA Formula 3 champions. Of course, Gabriel Bortoleto went and did that, became a McLaren F1 Junior with becoming an FIA Formula 3 champion, and we have to congratulate him for that as well. Superb season for him all year. It's been absolutely fantastic to see what the guys have done this year, the likes of Bortoleto, Paul Aron as well, our double winner here last year, standing on that championship podium as well. Dino Beganovic, multiple podium finisher. Gabriele Mini, a winner as well. Ollie Goethe, likewise, and Leo Fornaroli up there on several occasions on the podium. These are the next guys you're going to be watching in the FIA Formula 3 Championship, and possibly others as well. It's going to be a absolutely fantastic thing to watch. Not only that, but as that cycle happens, who will be the next bunch, if you're our rookie drivers, who will be the next bunch to fight for the title next year. This comes the crucial part of the season where you can make a statement as a driver to get that big boost of confidence to put yourself in the hot seat to be a title contender next season, if this season has been a bit of a warm-up year for you. We've seen other drivers do that. Of course, we've seen the likes of Kaz Havikort have a fantastic year this year. Can he go and become a double winner now? Winning on home soil is not something we've seen very often, and if he's to finish in the top 10 today, he matches the overall record in the championship for top 10 finishes, matching Hadrian David, 32 top 10 finishes. Andrea Kimi Antonelli out there looking for what would be his 5th win, which would make him the 3rd most successful driver in the championship overall when it comes to race wins. But we're just seeing them go through the warm-up phase now, and I think we're going to start seeing some times come on the board now. So it was a 1:43 was the time to beat at the end of that first session. Let's see if that time gets beaten now as they make their way around the final corner. That's going to be the most crucial thing. Can that 1:43 time of Marcus Armand get beaten? Here they come round the final corner now, and down the start-finish straight. Way off the pace so far as they make their way across the line, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli gets a benchmark time on the board for us at a 1:52. 1:54 it is for Tramnitz. Zagazzetta at 1:56, and you can can see how much they're struggling to keep it on the road down at turn 1. Flusha, P4. Provost now jumps to P4. Look at the spray coming off the cars. Great camera angle. That just gives you a display of how much spray is coming off the back of these cars. Zagazeta P4, Provost P5, Flusha P6, then Fittipaldi Jr., Maschio, Bernier, Bedrin, Capietto, Clemenco, Dominguez, Soldavini, Dirksen, Tangavello. A lot of drivers out there with nothing to lose at this part of the season, and these are the conditions where they can really thrive now. The likes of Joshua Dirksen, for example, who did fantastic things here last year. Can he go and make a big statement like we've just seen the likes of Marcus Armand do? There was an element of right place, right time, right setup perhaps of that, right tactics with Marcus Armand, but nevertheless, he was the one who got his car up to speed the quickest and was rewarded for it. Who are we going to see get their car up to speed the quickest in this session? Less than 10 to go. Here they come down the hill. Kaz Havercourt, purple through the first sector. The Dutchman is the fastest. Antonelli is wide. And onto the gravel down the hill through turn 11. That's going to affect his lap. However, quickest through the second sector, but Kaz Havercourt looks the quicker driver. Tim Tramnitz was quicker than Antonelli through the first sector, and I think could be quicker than him through the last sector after that little off as well. Kaz Havercourt, purple through the second sector as well. Quickest first sector, quickest second sector. Benchmark time will go for Antonelli. Here he comes on the board, and now as he makes his way over the line, 151.6, and it's a 151.8 for Tim Tramnitz. Great time from Tramnitz as Emo Fittipaldi Jr. now goes fastest. 151.6 for Fittipaldi Jr. Tramnitz 51.8, Zagazeta third. Here comes Havercourt up to the line. What does he do? 150.134. Great time from Kaz Havercourt. That puts him on the front row provisionally. Nikita Bedrin now goes up to second place. Fittipaldi Jr. is the top rookie with an absolutely superb performance to go third for the time being. I think we may have seen time deleted possibly here for Antonelli. This might be why track limits maybe just a little bit. There you go. 4 wheels over. I think we may have seen a time deletion. Yes, we did. Car 12 last time deleted. That was actually deleted for track limits at turn 3. So he's obviously ran wide up through the banking at the hairpin, but he certainly ran wide through there as well, didn't he? So that time did not count for Antonelli. He did give us a bit of a benchmark though. So quickest so far is Kaz Havercourt from Nikita Bedrin, from Fittipaldi, from Tramnitz, Zagazeta. On this lap, Kaz Havercourt has gone quickest through the first sector. However, quickest through the second sector is Andrea Kimi Antonelli. There we see one of the Prema drivers. You can see the difference in lines of them coming through turn number 12. Here comes Antonelli out the final corner. He's first across the line every time. Will he go to P1? It wasn't the best first sector, but it was a great second sector, and he'll go to P2 for the time being. Tramnitz up to P1, 149.843 for him as they head across the line now. Are we going to see any more changes? We've got Antonelli third, Zagazeta fourth, Bedrin in P5. Havercourt has gone purple through sector 1 and sector 2 and goes through the top. 149.843 for Kaz Havercourt. Here comes one of the MP drivers up to the line next. This will be Victor Bernier. Personal best first and second sector for Victor Bernier, P9. It is for him as he makes his way across the line. Capietto comes across the line to go P5. Great time from the RPM driver. Who's next? This is Soldavini coming up to the line, I believe now. Gets a time on the board, and now we have that's Tangavello up to the line. I don't think he improved. Dominguez comes across the line, stays 12th. This is Tom Levin, is it? Or Dirksen, actually, sorry, across the line next, and I'm not sure he's improved either. 155 in the end for him. 6 minutes now remaining, and on this lap, Kaz Havercourt continues to improve. This is good news for Stenshorn. Remember, Antonelli needs to beat him by 2 points to wrap this championship up. And with Stenshorn starting on row 5, all Antonelli. Oh no, red flag. Well, we'll cut that point off. We'll come back to that in a second. But we have a red flag, and I'm not sure where we have this red flag exactly for, but we have a red flag out. And this could be good news for these guys. It gives the chance for the conditions to improve slightly. And they are looking to try and beat a 1:43, and they are getting a little bit closer to that. They're definitely getting a little bit closer as they make their way back into the pit lane now. There we can see all the cars lined up as they come into the pits. So Kaz Havikor currently quickest from Nikita Bedrin, Tim Tramnitz, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Matteo Capietto, Zagazzetta, then Fittipaldi Jr., Flusha, Provost, then Bernier, Maschio, Dominguez, then Dirksen, Tangavelu, Clemenco, Soldavini. So they're about 5 seconds. It was a 1:43 that was the quickest time in the first session from Marcus Armand. That was the quickest time we saw. They're about 5 seconds away from that with 5 minutes and 47 seconds left on the clock. See Zagazzetta being spoken to. So just getting confirmation of that time, 1:43.205 from Emanuele on that one. So Marcus Armand, that is the time that we are looking to beat in this session. So we are 5.5 seconds away from that. Do we have time? It depends. The conditions here could swing in either way at any second. And the teams now will just have a bit of a reset, gives the drivers a chance to maybe assess where they could be improving, could be losing time. This does give us a little bit of a chance while we're in a red flag to talk about our calendar for next year. You can read the full press release for this. Let's see if we can eavesdrop on Josh Dirksen. Seem to have stopped talking to each other. But we did launch our calendar this week for next year. Was pretty much the same in terms of tracks, but just in a slightly different order, and in terms of how the dates will roll round as well. Great to see that Hockenheim is back, so we're going to be starting where we finished in terms of going back to Hockenheim next year in May, which is going to be fantastic to see. Great to get the calendar for next year finally launched. We'll just go through the dates for you now. So Hockenheim is where we're going to begin next year, supporting GT Open on the 11th and 12th of May. Then 2 weeks after that, we go to Spa with GT Open again on the 25th and 26th of May. Then we will be here at Zandvoort, I'm sure in much better conditions, on the 8th and 9th of June. Then we will go to the Hungaroring 2 weeks after that on the 22nd and 23rd of June. Round 5, as always, it's going to be 2 races per round. Round 5 will take us to the halfway point of the season and to the beautiful Mugello circuit, Mugello Bello, 13th and 14th of July. Circuit Paul Ricard is where we will go next, the 20th and 21st of July. Then we go into our summer break, a 6-week break after that, which will then take us into September to Imola, another lovely location for the championship on the 7th and 8th of September. The rounds roll round pretty quickly then, 3 coming in September overall. We go to the Red Bull Ring the week after that on the 14th and 15th, and then just 2 weeks after that we are at Barcelona on the 28th and 29th, and then we take a few weeks off, a few weeks to collect our thoughts before we have our season finale at Monza. And it's been a fantastic place to end our season. The 26th and 27th of October is where we will end the championship. So great to see the calendar officially launched. As I said, you can see the official press release for that on the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine website. There's Alessandro Giusti, who can only watch on now and see exactly where he will be starting from, be it the inside or the outside. Another thing we are fighting for when it comes to this championship is big super license points. And we've got the calendar for next year sorted, but in terms of this year, we could have our title wrapped up today, and with that 25 super license points could go in the favour of Andrea Kimi Antonelli or Martini Estenchor for winning this championship. Overall, super license points going to the top 9 in the championship. You get 25 for winning the championship, 20 for finishing second, 15 for third, 10 for finishing fourth, 7 for finishing fifth, 5 for finishing sixth, and 3 for seventh. 2 for finishing 8th, and then 1 for finishing in 9th place. Those are on your license for 3 years, and 40 of those, and you have the right to go and race at the very top level in the Formula One World Championship. So it takes you a very big step along the way to doing that. And then we can see the car of Giovanni Maschio being worked on, being prepped, being ready to get fired up. Lovely character around the paddock, I have to say. Hope we see him back next year. Very recognisable livery as well. There's Francisco Soldavini, new face to the championship this weekend, and hopefully for next one as well. Great to have him with us over at G4 Racing in for the end of the season, and I hope that continues on to next season as well. Great to have the Argentinian around. I believe this red flag is for Ivan Klemenko. Not too sure exactly where he went off, but we have his best lap time deleted for causing a red flag. Apologies if my eyes were away from the screen when that was shown, but that is why we have a red flag out for Ivan Klemenko, but we hope he's all okay and in one piece, and we can resume the session very shortly. Pierre Alexandre Provost just doing the best he can to make sure his vision is not impaired when he goes out onto the circuit by covering up his visor. And the conditions look a little bit better out there. Now it doesn't look as windy as it once was, and the rain isn't falling down right on cue, as the director shows us there, not falling down anymore. So that 143.2 of Marcus Armand could be coming under threat, and Kaz Havakor, Nikita Bedrin and co will be rubbing their hands together with this now, because that time of a 143 was set on slick tyres, but that was under warm-up conditions, i.e. weaving the car, going at a moderate pace, not pushing very hard through the corners. So will we see that time beaten? I wonder. It's going to be a very interesting one to see. And all races here have been won from pole position. So pole position here absolutely critical. Not to say that couldn't be broken later. There has been races here in the likes of Formula 3, Formula 2, where we've seen the guys going really side by side and even passing each other down to the first corner. It's just all about the launch. I spoke to Laurens van Hoopen after the race yesterday, and he just said he got far too much wheel spin starting on the inside of the grid. That looks like Josh. That's Tom Levin. You can tell by his gloves. Actually, watching on, it's been a bit of a difficult weekend for him so far, but he showed great promise towards the end of the season, I have to say, particularly at the Red Bull Ring. He was a little bit unlucky with track limits there, but overall, I hope we see him back next season. Has been off doing some stuff in GTs at Hockenheim as well. There, Roman Belinsky to the right of screen, Nikhil Bora to the left of screen. Great team spirit down at Trident, I have to say. Maybe a bit camera shy. Are we on camera? Yes, we are. Hello. Hello to you too, Roman Belinsky. Yeah. So good to see those guys down there. There is always a very friendly atmosphere as there is up and down the paddock, I have to say. But great friends are the three drivers down at the Trident team. Nikhil Bora and Roman Belinsky, all they can do is watch on. You can see them in the middle of a picture there, just sitting down against the pit wall and watching their competitors. It's an unusual situation, but it's something that was introduced to just allow the drivers a bit more breathing space on the circuit, because having 33 cars out there on the track together in a short circuit just made a little bit too much congestion, and we were having drivers queue up coming into the last corner, and it was a decision that the teams wanted to make. Yeah, that was why we did that, and it was something that the teams wanted to do, and the championship were agreed to do it. Now, I'm just hearing in my ear while we were going through that yes, we haven't seen much of Ivan Klemenko, who was the driver involved in the red flag incident, but I am being told that the driver is out of the car and doesn't have any life-threatening injuries, and that's all the information I'm being given at the moment. So Ivan Klemenko is not being shown in the pit lane, so I'm going to go off the assumption that that is the driver that is involved. All the other drivers, it looks like we've seen them either out the car, in the pit lane, or still remaining in, but I'm being told that Ivan Klemenko is out the car and doesn't appear to be suffering with any life-threatening injuries. So that's all I'm being told at the moment, which is very positive news. Good to hear that he has been extracted from the car safely. He'll now be taken into the hands of the fantastic medical team here at Circuit Zandvoort, and any further updates we get on that, I will personally bring you on the social media broadcast channels myself. I will go and see if we can get some updates on you before that. But of course, we hope that we get some more positive news on Ivan Klemenko. But so far, that's a positive news to get, that he is out of the car safely. Okay, we can see the guys waiting on for this session to get going. A shame that we are under red flag, but of course, all of our concerns at the moment are that the drivers are safe out there on the circuit, and the medical team are dealing with that currently. 5 minutes and 47 seconds is what will be remaining when we do get going again in this session. Some empty cars are those who have already been out on circuit, like Nikhil Bora's there. Those will be the Group B drivers who have already been out. That's a good view of Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Lots of speculation surrounding where he's going to be next season, isn't he? But given he was absent from Formula 3 testing, but for now his focus fully is on getting the job done here in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. It would be his 5th single-seater series title win if he could get it, and that is in the space of just 2 full seasons. He's had an absolutely superb career already has the Mercedes junior driver. He was both an Italian F4 champion last year, an ADAC F4 champion, and also won the FIA Motorsport Games F4 Cup. And at the beginning of this year, he also won the Formula Regional Middle East Championship as well, in a great battle with Taylor Barnard for the title. So superb performance from him. He now has the chance to add to that even further and go and become a Formula Regional Championship champion for the second time, this time a Formula Regional European champion. And it would be a 5th single-seater title in just 2 full seasons of racing. And I spoke to Andrea actually yesterday. Some of you might know he now runs his own kart team as well. I remember speaking to him at the Red Bull Ring about karting. It was the final round of the European Championships that day, and it was actually the World Championships for the gearbox classes that day, apologies. And then we were speaking just yesterday about the World Junior, the FIA World Karting Championships and the FIA World Junior Karting Championships, which took place over in Italy recently. And many of you might have seen, if you follow Kimi online, that he was there with his new kart team as well. He was running his drivers in the OKJN class, I think it is now referred to as, and he just was telling me how he loves the paddock, loves the sport, and it's a paddock I remember seeing, I'd say a good 60-70% of these drivers racing in. Hello to you, sir, in the Bremer, the red jacket as well. Did I get on TV? Yes, I did. But he was telling me just about how much he loved being back in the paddock, loved being with all of his friends, and I have to say, fantastic to see someone of his age. He's only 17 years old, Kimi, from Bologna in Italy, and already the AKM Motorsport team, I think it's called now, the karting team that he's launched, is looking to bring the next breadth of Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine drivers and Italian F4 drivers into the world of single-seater racing, and he was there. What an inspiration. Even at that age, he is already to those guys, and he was there supporting them, and as a driver himself who did such good things in the world of karting. He won back-to-back FIA Karting European Championship titles in 2020 and 2021. And he raced for Nico Rosberg back in 2019 as well, becoming the Vice European Champion. So congratulations to him on that. And I'm sure many of you follow him, but if you haven't, it's worth checking out that kart team, and always worth watching the World Championships when it's on. They have launched as well, speaking of karting, the Champions of the Future Academy program as well, and we must congratulate both Susie Wolff and James Geidel for this. This is going to see the top 3 drivers in the senior category, the top 3 female drivers from the senior category of the Champions of the Future Academy get the chance to race in the F1 Academy next year. The F1 Academy is an F4 championship which will be racing in the Formula 1 paddock next year. You'll be able to watch it live for the first time at the COTA race next weekend at the Austin race. It's going to be fantastic when F1 returns to the circuit of the Americas. F1 Academy will be broadcast live all around the world, and next season that's going to be traveling around the world with Formula 1. And there will be many more chances to watch that one live. And the Champions of the Future Academy program, launched by the guys at RGMMC who run the FIA Karting Championships, is a new championship with one of its legs of the championship now being made to give female drivers a direct link, the top 3 female senior drivers, a link to go and race up in the F1 Academy. So congratulations. I just wanted to take the chance while we have a red flag to congratulate both Susie Wolff and James Geidel on air for that announcement. Well, those fans, I've got to say, a thank you to all of them who have turned out today, and a thank you to you for your patience. A thank you to our TV crew here at Hay Fisher around the circuit, because they are dealing with the worst conditions out there. It has just got extremely bad out there. Hailstones now coming down out on the circuit, and you can see just how bad it is. Everyone taking to the garages. Garage doors are coming down. Drivers hiding under the umbrellas. The hailstones coming down incredibly hard now. This, all 4 seasons we are almost dealing with in one qualifying session. This is like the World Endurance Championship in 2019 all over again. Someone's lost their umbrella as well. One of the Trident guys is going to be, oh, there we go, a marshal to the rescue. I thought we were going to see a Trident guy almost running out of the pit lane. I think that was for the car of Nikhil Pura, just to keep the cockpit dry, but he's decided to bail on that one and hide in the garages of one of the GT World Challenge teams. But this is huge. The session will not resume. Well, we did see it will resume. The session will not resume. That means Kaz Havikort will start on the front row of the grid for the 2nd consecutive race. This time it'll be on the outside of the road. Nikita Bedrin will be next. I'll bring further updates on you as Ivan Klemenko as we get it, but we will be back for the race at the same time as yesterday, this afternoon. Thank you for staying with us.